Does reading ever just feel really hard for your kids? They're completely unmotivated and you can't get them going. Well, let's talk a little bit about why they might be feeling this way and then provide some solutions for what maybe you can try at home to get them back on track if they're already able to read. So, this wouldn't be somebody who really can't read. If your child really can't read, I've got other videos in my library for that, and you can go and check those out inside of Tutoring with Cheryl. But this one specifically is talking about an unmotivated reader, and maybe they can read, but it's just a little bit hard. Okay, so they're maybe at the point where they can look at a word, they can read the word, they can piece together a sentence. So we're not talking very beginning readers. We're talking maybe first grade, second grade, third grade, or beyond. You could have a fifth or a sixth grader unmotivated to read. You could have a high schooler unmotivated to read. But let's talk about this idea of lazy or unmotivated might actually be something more like a brain drain. Okay, meaning, well, I want to correlate it to something like math class. Okay, let's say you're sitting in your math class and all you've done all day is just these really long math equations, and you are just so tired you just can't do anymore. Okay, so reading can have the same effect. When a child is maybe a so-so reader, they can read, um, but maybe they can't remember what they've read, or maybe they're just overstimulated, then their brain doesn't really want to work so hard. So there's no energy left to enjoy that story. So they're asking themselves, is it really worth it to sit down and read this book? Because I'm already tired and it feels more like a chore, because they'd rather go and play, a game, play outside. A lot of our kids today want to play their video games. I'm going to really encourage you to pull out the blocks and the Play-Doh and the Legos and get them outside, riding their bikes, hopscotch, jump roping, all those old time things that are really good for not only their body but also for their brain. But when our kids are experiencing that brain drain, they're really asking themselves, this isn't worth it. What am I going to get out of it? Or they might just be telling themselves that they're just not a good reader, and they fall into that trap because maybe they don't read as fluidly as their parent, or not their parents, as their friends do. And so then they're just stuck wondering, why do I even try? Because everybody's better at this than I am. So they can really get stuck in this like failure loop. It's just this constant cycle of, no matter how hard I try, I'm always back at the beginning, and not this upward momentum or this gradual momentum where we actually want them to be. So I have some really simple solutions. This is going to be a super short video. I'm going to ask you to do a shared reading. Okay, and that can be done in a couple different ways. Well, the very first way would be to just like you read to your child and they're just watching, you're kind of pointing along and going as you go. That's not as interactive, but if your kid is really in brain drain, then start there at least. Okay, so these are low pressure situations to bring the spark back and move them upward, or at least in a forward momentum, so that they're not just stuck. I really like the echo reading. Okay, because you can read a sentence or a paragraph depending on how well your child reads in, like, let's say, a character voice, and then they can read it back to you, or read a portion of that. So it's going to help your child understand how the story should be read, or how it should sound, because some of our kids can't even get that in their head. They're just working so hard to read those words, they can't like make it exciting. You can do a choral reading where you read the same paragraph together at the same time. And so this takes the spotlight off of them. And then you can kind of let your voice take the lead on the tougher parts, but they're kind of reading with you at the same time. That works really great for short periods of time. I would not read an entire book like that. That would be very cumbersome and very tricky. Okay, what I'm going to tell you is to keep it short and sweet. Set 10 to 15-minute times that you're going to do this. You could call it like your reading sprint, or you're going to, just do this for 10 or 15 minutes. And you can use a simple timer. I like to use them, like on my phone or whatever, because the kids can see, the time is ticking away. We don't have that much time. But you could use your microwave. You could use a regular stopwatch, whatever you have. And then reward them. So don't go out and go buy anything. Like, the reward could literally be that you have got a calendar and you've just marked it off with a smiley face or something, or a star. Keep it super simple, but celebrate the small win that you actually did it. Isn't it really motivating when you're trying to do something and you're like, I'm just going to do this for 10 minutes a day, and then you have it on your calendar and you're like, yep, I did that today. That's a good feeling. Okay, and it doesn't cost anything to do that. I love audiobooks. Audiobooks are real reading, because kids are having to listen, and they're having to build their brain muscles to remember what's happening in the story. So please, please, please do not discount the value of audiobooks, or you can read a book and they can listen to you. You can do this a couple different ways. You can, like on my computer, I've downloaded an app that it can literally read into, and then it will store my voice. It doesn't even have the video. And then I can just share that file with somebody and they can listen to it. Okay. Or you could do a video like this. You could record it on your phone or on Zoom or Google Meet if you have a paid account. And you could hold the book up, or you could have the book in front of them, or they could have the book in the literal book and they're just listening to you as you read it. Or go and get a Tony. You can get creative Tonys. I think they'll just record like 15 to 30 minutes of your voice, but then that's okay. As soon as that part's done, you say, okay, I'm going to record the next part, and you get to listen to it next time. So this is building their vocabulary, their comprehension, their hearing, how the story should sound. It's going to really get them hooked into great stories that they're going to want to read and build that motivation. So please, please, please do not discount audiobooks. And then follow their lead. If they want to read a graphic novel or a magazine about a favorite animal, or they just want to read the back of the cereal box, which a lot of kids can't even do that right now, get them motivated by supporting their interests. Okay, that is super, super important. So hopefully these simple tips and tricks are going to help get your child unstuck and motivated to read again. For more information about Tutoring with Cheryl, please make sure that you go over and visit Tutoring with Cheryl, SHERYL.tutorbird.com, and you can use the contact form to get the conversation started and get your child on my schedule and back on track where they need to be.